Hello friends! So today we are going to be talking about place value. This is going to be the first video in a set of videos about place value, and we are going to be talking about how the position that a digit is in is going to affect how much it's worth or its value. So when I say place value, I'm talking about, let's take a look at this number right here, 4,444 and 44 hundredths. When I say place value, that is going to mean that the place that one of those digits or numbers is in affects how much it's worth. So if we were to look at this 4 right here in this number, 4,444 and 44 hundredths, I'm going to see that this 4, I'm not going to say it's worth 4, but it is worth 400 because it's in the hundreds place. So that's what we are talking about today, and we're going to be comparing and seeing what happens to a number when it moves up a place value or when its place value position is different. Now, like we said, this is going to be true for decimals as well. So let's take a look at this number, and we're going to put it into this place value chart right here. Now, when I look at this 4, I know that this 4 is in the thousands place because it is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 places away from that decimal. So it's in the thousands place. This 4 is in the hundredths place. This 4 is in our tens place. This 4 is in our ones place. And now I know that this 4 is in the ones place because this decimal is right here. This decimal point is always going to be after the ones place and before the tenths place. So if you see this decimal place here, you know that this number to the left is in the ones place, or this number to its right is the tenths place. So again, I have 4 in the tenths place, and I have 4 in the hundredths place. So now we can start to think about what is the value of each of these numbers. Well, if I have 4 thousands, that means I have 4,000. So its value, because it's in that fourth place from the decimal point, is 4,000. I have 4 hundredths. I now have 4 tens, which means I have 40. I have 4 ones, or just 4. So this one's going to be the same. In this case, I have 4 tenths, which we can write like a fraction. And I have 4 hundredths, which I can write like a fraction as well, 4 over 100. The other way that I could have written this, friends, is I could write it just like the decimal, right? 0.4 or 0.04 to represent 4 tenths and 4 hundredths. For this problem, I'm just going to use the fractions, Now, if we start to think about how do these numbers compare, I am going to notice that, look at this, 4 was in the ones place. This number directly to its left is 40. This is worth 10 times the amount of the 4. Sorry, this is a 10. This is worth 10 times as much as this 4. The same thing is going to be true here. This 400 is 10 times greater than that 40. And again, right here, this 4,000 is going to be 10 times greater than the 400. Now, like I said earlier, this still works for decimals. So when I take a look at 4 tenths compared to 4, 4 is 10 times larger than 4 tenths. And again, same here, this 4 tenths is 10 times larger than 4 hundredths. That's pretty confusing because a lot of people think 4 hundredths, that sounds a lot bigger than 4 tenths. But if we look at a size comparison, 4 out of 10 is much larger than 4 out of 100, isn't it? It's 10 times larger. So again, 4 tenths is 10 times larger than 4 hundredths. We are in the next video, some of you might already be seeing that if 400 is 10 times larger than 40, then we could go the opposite way and say 40 is 10 times smaller than 400, which is true. So like we said, go back up to our learning target. I understand that the value of a digit is 10 times the value of the same exact digit one place to its right. So this number right here is going to be 10 times more than this number right here because it's one place value further ahead. Next, we're going to be looking at this question: how is the value of 6 different in 496 and in 9 and 64 hundredths? So in this case, I'm going to use a place value chart to help myself visualize how these two numbers, how these two sixes are different. So even though they are both 6, the digit is both 6, if we start to fill it in our place value chart, we're going to notice that the position it's in is going to be different, which is going to change its value. So 496, I put my 4 in the hundreds, my 6 in the tens, I'm sorry, my 9 in the tens, and my 6 in the ones. Now I'm going to do it right here. 9 and 64 hundredths. Again, this decimal point tells me that this 9 is in the ones place because we always have the ones place directly to the left of the decimal. Again, this decimal is separating your whole numbers and your less than whole numbers. So you have 9 and 64 hundredths. Now we can see here that this 6 is in the ones place here, but it's in the tens place here. Now I can ask myself, how many places away is it? And even though this decimal point looks like a place, this is just a separator for our whole numbers and our not whole numbers. So this is in its own place value. So this 6 is in the tenths place, and it is one place value away from the ones place. So I can see that this 6 wholes is going to be 10 times greater than this 6 tenths. So I could say that the 6 in 496 is 10 times greater than the 6 in 9 and 64 hundredths. Finally, friends, it is your turn, and I'm going to ask that you grab a pencil, some paper, maybe a place value chart if you have one, and solve the following two problems. The first one being, how is the value of 8 different in 831 and 187? And next, Jesse put one jelly bean on a scale and its weight read 1 2/10 grams. How much would you expect 10 jelly beans to weigh? So pause the video here so you can see the questions and do your best. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.